Hey guys, it's day number 4 of 31 and 31, and today I have watched The Reaper. Um, yeah, The Reaper. So, this is a film from 2014, 2015. It stars Danny Trejo, and it has Vinne Jones in it. And that was one of the reasons why I decided that I wanted to watch this movie. And yeah. I thought the last movie was slow that I watched. This one is kind of slow. It's entertaining in the beginning of the movie, but once it's supposed to like take off, it is just terrible. I mean, wow. So, what is the premise of this movie? Well, it stars. Well, I won't say stars. It's basically about a like cultist priest. Though there's not a whole lot of cult in there. I guess it was, you know, cult light. But anyway, he's being put to death in the beginning of the movie, and he managed to escape and kill a bunch of people, and he is known as the Reaper. And then you cut over to this chick, Natalie, and she basically is trying to get back to her mom, who is being removed from hospice, and she needs money to get her like medical stuff done. Yeah, so she basically does a bunch of bad things. You get to see Jake Busey in the beginning of the movie. Doesn't last very long. That's not much of a spoiler because he's basically in the first like maybe 10 to 15 minutes of this movie, and that's about it. It's yeah, I don't really know what to think about this movie because like I thought it was going to go one way. I thought there was going to be something, because it always seems like the Reaper is, following her and killing the people that she's running into, and it basically ends up taking place all at this hotel for most of the movie, and that they're trying to avoid the Reaper. I guess, to make a dumb joke here that everybody may expect me to make. But they grow to fear the Reaper once they find out that, he exists. It's just like the sound quality is just terrible. Like, there's scenes in the beginning of the movie when they're in the car, and it's obvious that they kind of ADR'd the lines again, because they really don't match the mouthing. It's almost like watching an old school kaiju movie that's been dubbed in English. And I really thought, well, maybe because it seems to have very like Latino-centric type of cast, and I thought that maybe it was originally filmed in a different language and they redubbed it over, but nope. It's not that way. It's just like the kills kind of happen off screen, and like there's one major kind of bloody kill, but it's all digital and it just looks terrible. And I wish they really would have done it like practical. It would have been kind of cool to see that. The Reaper himself, like when you first kind of say, "Ooh, looks kind of cool," and then when you actually get a good view of him, it looks terrible. Like the makeup is absolutely awful. I don't like any of the characters. I think they do Trejo wrong in this movie, and I'm such a Trejo fan that it's like, ugh, this is worse than 3 from Hell, and he's in this movie longer. Now I'm thinking that they did him right in 3 from Hell. But it's just like, come on, man. Really? Do you have to go through this? And do you have to have the end? The ending is so fucking terrible. Like, it is the worst. I'm just like, even the way they do, I don't want to, I feel like I shouldn't ruin anything, but then I should, because I need to, like, talk about how just, like, bad it is, like, how it just ends itself. Like, it's just, it's not that it ends it, like, it just abruptly ends or anything like that. It's just, there's all this buildup, and then it's just garbage. Absolutely garbage. Like, yeah, and there, I saw a bunch of stuff. I was like reading some stuff online about this, and like, oh, it's the, the 2 biggest bruisers with, because Vinne Jones is in this movie too. Trejo and Vinne Jones together. But they're never on screen with each other. And Vinne Jones goes out like a bitch. It's really terrible. Like, I I wish there was something else, that could have happened to him. And they don't really do much with him. Like the first time you see Vinnie Jones, he's in a fucking diner and he's talking with one of the other characters and trying to say, like, I'm only going to give you this much money because you fucked up before and I don't need you fucking up again, so I'm not going to give you all the money you need to get the drugs that I want, so you're only going to get this much. And I'm like, okay, cool. Like, is he going to show up more? And he shows up again later, and it's like really short, and then he shows up again, spoiler alert, only to fucking die. It's like, when you say that these two roses are going to be together, acting together, and then they're never in a fucking scene together, why are you going to, like, advertise that? Oh, we've got Vinnie Jones and Danny Trejo, and they're the baddest motherfuckers out there, and they're going to do all this shit. And then it just doesn't add up. Nothing really happens with them. And, I love me some Trejo. I really, really do. And if you haven't, I've been praising the goddamn movie since I fucking saw it. But if you haven't seen Inmate Number 1, please go and fucking watch that movie, because it is so, so good. And it's just a documentary about how Trejo became Trejo, from his life on the street to all the shit that he was dealing with his brother and his family, all the time he spent in prison, to how he just is our generation's Vincent Price, and he just won't say no to a role. Now, he won't say no to a role not just because it's fun, but he just wants to be paid. That's kind of like the thing. That's why he's always accepted these roles. And he accepts himself for what he is, which is, really cool. And that's the way kind of Price did things when we talked to Victoria Price. Her father just wouldn't say no. He just enjoyed being in the movies, and doesn't matter what I'm doing, I'm going to do this role, I'm going to have fun with it. And it's the same thing with Trejo here, but I just feel like, he can only carry it for so much, and then it's just not worth it. The scares aren't really there. There's a couple of things that I thought were interesting, but it's just, I just feel like it's not worth your time to, like, sit and watch this movie. It's on Tubi for free right now, while I'm recording this and during this 31 Nights of Horror. So you can go ahead and check it out. It's hard watching movies sometimes on that channel because they seem to insert the ads in a way that is, some movies it works, and here there's, like, right at the end, like the very end, there's an ad right before, like, literally the 1 minute it's going to be to go into the fucking credits. And I'm just like, do you really need to insert an ad here? It just doesn't make any sense. Whatever their algorithm is doing so that you can watch these movies for free. So if you've never heard of it, there's probably a good reason why you've never heard of it. And if you have heard of it, I'd really like to know what your thoughts on this movie was if you've seen it. Just let me know down in the comments below. So yeah, if I'm going to give this movie a rating, it's also going to be a 2 out of 5 blood spews. It's just, I wish it was better. I really do. It had potential. I'd say the first act was really interesting. I liked the whole stuff that they did with Gary Busey. I liked how they showed her, that she's not necessarily a good girl, and then it just devolves into garbage. And I hate saying that about movies, because I know people put a lot of time into these movies. They have an idea, they get the funding, they make the movie, they get the people that they want to be in the movie, and it sucks when it's just poorly executed. So I guess, yeah, so tomorrow we've got another film for you. I think I'm gonna go with a film that I haven't seen in quite some time, that I really liked, and see if I still really like it. And there will be a review for that film as well. So stay tuned for more Camp Colt and 31 Nights of Horror. And don't forget to check out the podcast. If you haven't checked out the podcast already, you can find links down in the comments below, or in the description below. And thanks everybody. I guess watch out for the Reaper. All right, see you next time. Bye.